I'm a little bit sad to be introducing this final daily roundup of the 2022 Manx Grand Prix. We've had an amazing week so far, and it's certainly not over yet. If this final day of racing is anywhere near as good as we're hoping it'll be, this could be our best day of action so far. In the senior, all eyes will be on Stephen Smith and that ACR Kawasaki. He's been fastest in practice, has a great team around him, and is carrying stacks of confidence. Then there's Jamie Williams and that Honda CBR 600. The local lad has unfinished business after losing out in Saturday's junior race. David McConaughey is in with a shout too, but to be fair, there's a few riders that are. Daniel Ingham, Victor Lopez, and Mark Colvin and Chris Cook, to name a few. Newcomers in this race to look out for are Paul Cassidy, Amaury Blanc and Frankie Stennett. The stars of tomorrow have to start shining somewhere, and this race is that place. So, who is going to end up stood in here later on today? Enough of me prattling on, let's get into it and find out.
1 minute start line, 1 minute.
I'm saying we've witnessed a vintage day of Manx Grand Prix racing. The senior was a masterclass from Stephen Smith. Despite bogging off the line, he put over 10 seconds into everyone in the first lap and just kept increasing his lead all the way to the flag. Daniel Ingham finished second and fought back tears of joy on the radio to me in the winner's enclosure and then again on the podium. Douglas man Jamie Williams made up for losing the lead and the chance to stand on the podium in the junior by taking the final place on the senior podium. The 4-lap classic Superbike race is set to be a banger. Will Richard Wilson get 4 laps in on the Norton? Is the clutch in Lee Johnston's RC45 up to the job? We shall see. What we'll also see is a squadron of ZXR 750s swarming on that podium. Dave O'Johnson and the ACR Kawasaki won last time out, but Big Brian McCormack, Craig Neve, Paul Jordan and Jamie Coward will all be looking to make their mark on this class. We can't not talk about Michael Dunlop, who looks to have opted for the XR69. The big girl dances well round here, and so long as it doesn't tread on Michael's toes, we can expect something special from him today. classic Superbike race, it was action-packed from start to finish. Michael Dunlop faded away from the front and Craig Neve looked to have it in the bag. There was more drama from Dom Herbertson when he was forced to retire in pit lane with stomach problems. He'll be back as he has unfinished business in all the classes he raced in. We needn't have worried about the Norton and the RC45, both bikes put on a stellar show. I couldn't quite hear the crowd clapping each time they went past, but I could definitely see it. As the race drew to a close, it looked like Davo Johnson had second, and my dark horse favourite for the third spot, Nathan Harrison, would finish the podium. Then Craig Neve retired, Rob Hodson blitzed his way to the front, and it was only when Davo got a bad board and started pulling wheelies on his last lap that he ended up swapping second place for third place with Nathan Harrison. Man, what a race. My personal highlights of the week. Where do I start? Let's go with the racer in the V&M leathers. Then let's go for the fan in the Freddie Spencer rep helmet and jacket with matching Honda NS 400R. And we can cut to me being this close to a lap in the sunshine on a kind of works, factory spec, but road legal Suzuki GSX-R 750 S-Rad. Where do we go from that? Trying to coax an interview out of Mike Brown in the winner's enclosure when he won that 250 lightweight race. The sound of the Nortons, the smell of the two-strokes. And then I think probably the biggest and best one for me is at the end of every day when we finish shooting these roundup shows, I walk down the hill on my own into Douglas in the dark and just let the day's kind of action turn into memories that are going to last me a lifetime. There's a galaxy of stars to thank for putting this thing on. For me personally, it starts with the Marshalls. Without them, this event couldn't happen without a shadow of a doubt. But then you've got guys like Stu Hall, Frankie Stennett, Mark Colvin, Michael Dunlop, even Chris Kinley, who for some reason insisted every single day on the radio in calling these shows. I think sometimes it was a vloggy thing, other days it was a podcast. But for me, without a doubt, the star of this show is the bikes. This place, the Isle of Man, is my favourite place in the world. But when you take my personal kind of pin-up bikes from my teenage years in the mid-90s, couple them with the Isle of Man, bake them under this sunshine for a couple of days, you end up with this absolutely unbeatable combination. I genuinely hope that you've enjoyed all of these daily roundup shows that we've brought you. And I hope, all being well, I'll be back next year in 2023, the centenary year for the Manx Grand Prix. Thanks very much.
Breathe in, breathe out, feel it taking over. Some things can't Schwarz.